town virtual meeting. At this time, did everyone get a chance to take a look at the secretary report and our financial report?
I'd like to make a motion. That we accept.
I'll say.
All those in favor? Okay. Our financial report, Jennifer,
Yeah.
you want to walk us through that real quick?
Yeah. Okay. The total vouchers for April was $18,770.97. Big part of that was the grant for the NDOT starting the right of way. And our total funds is $445,686.86. Just for the NDOT grant, we are starting the right of way purchasing versus looking over the paperwork you need to look over for them, and they'll start the purchase of that. So, and then in July, we'll get our other requests to move on. So
Slow but sure,
slow but sure.
smooth.
Yeah, kind of like building a new office or something, you know, all you see is dirt work, and then one day that building will start. But yeah. So, yeah, I mean, we're on track, so.
I'll make the motion, we pay the vouchers and approve the financial.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Jen, do you have anything else?
Yes, it's time to renew the flock cameras, 2 cameras, 2,500 each, 5,000. I just let you know, we got the invoice. I talked to Sherry today, so they did remove 2, so we just have 2.
Okay.
So.
Alright.
I just need a motion.
I mean, there's still.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, she said where we've got our 2 place, that those are good locations, and she would like us to keep them there. Because they took our 2 and moved them. The other, we had 4, left us with 2, and they took 2 and moved them. So.
Do we need
just-
to make a motion?
Yes, yes, please.
So do I have a motion to approve the continuation of the block cameras?
I make the motion that we continue the flock cameras.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay. Anything else, Jen?
Nope, that's all I had.
Okay, Antoinette, you're up.
Oh, goody. I do have one question. Why do we need flock cameras? Just a question, because I don't understand.
The Spencer County Sheriff's Department just came, they got a grant, and they asked each county or incorporated town to go in with the county, and the county had to agree too, so they could place them where they could, because it helps them with like kids that are abducted and they have a card. They just put in like a description of the car, and if it hits anywhere around here, then they can track each flock camera to see where it's located.
When
It's not a speed.
There was an actual case out of Perry County,
Mhm.
which is kind of was the incentive and motivation for us to go with it, because there was a flock camera. A child was abducted in Perry County, was taken north of
Kokomo,
Indianapolis,
yeah.
around Kokomo or something like that. And because of flock cameras and them being able to just say they saw a suspicious silver car, they could type that in on these block cameras and it could list all the silver, I mean, it doesn't, you don't even have to have the license plate number. I was just curious.
No.
Yeah.
It's
Good
a
question.
security, it's a
Yeah.
security thing that if something
your car gets
nefarious
stolen.
happens in Richland,
It's been really helpful to law enforcement to help, with various,
My cousin's car got stolen and that's how they got it back.
yeah.
There was a major one right after the cameras went in Fish County where somebody had been going across the country, they would steal an RV and then steal a license plate.
Yeah.
off the
Yes.
vehicle.
Mhm.
So they swapped the license plates.
That's just a lot of.
And then they would go state or two away, sell that RV, steal another one, go a couple states, and they crossed half the country, and we caught them coming across the bridge.
Yeah, but,
And that's your,
okay, now, thank you for answering the question because I didn't understand. I did want to say thank you to the town, and I know the Friends of Richland isn't here, but I got a very nice thank you card combined from both regarding the Easter egg hunt and the items I had given for the Easter egg hunt. I hear kids kind of liked it. Okay, now, this is why I'm here. This is 4:30 in the morning. I got woke up to this, my dogs were carrying on. I got woke up from a sound sleep. This is starting to affect my health. All last summer, 4:30 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, here's the builders building houses. I'm sorry, there has to be some kind of middle ground here. I have reasonable expectation that I can sleep until at least 5 or 6 in the morning, not be woke up to something like that. And the excuse was, oh, my boss told me to come. That is inexcusable. I was told there's no noise ordinance for this. But I looked, and the only thing I could find was if it's a sex club between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m., they can't have any noise.
We have that ordinance?
It's on your website. I looked. And I think it would be reasonable, 7 o'clock in the morning. You know, I don't care they're from a different time zone. Du Bois County knows Spencer County is slow time. There has to be some kind of middle ground. And that's not the only thing that happened last week. I will listen.
no, I was gonna let you, because Bruce and I have already addressed this for you. We spoke to the contractor and the subcontractors that did it, he really didn't have any control over them, but he dressed them down yesterday about starting too early and doing that. So I think that ought to be taken care of.
I appreciate that, but I also feel the town should get something in writing on the books. And
We've discussed the noise ordinance before, and even Bruce said that it's, I mean, you have to have noise monitors, you have to have someone to monitor, and we just don't have the ability to do all that. But plus me personally, I mean, I worked swing shift for 16 years. So what's the difference in someone going out and mowing their yard at 2 o'clock in the afternoon when I'm trying to sleep? It's the same thing. And the person that's building the house right next to you, that's where he works. He works swing shift. He's gonna be sleeping at noon, 1, 2 o'clock. So to me, I don't see what the difference is.
normal things in other towns and cities, they have a noise ordinance and they restrict the hours the builders can build. You know, 7 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. there was a house being built on Second Street before the town incorporated. 11:30 at night, a guy is out there putting a roof on. That's a little inexcusable. And then I politely asked whoever was working over there Friday to please move their vehicle so I could get down the street. I stopped and I also asked them to please not park on that side of the street. I was told, get the fuck out of here, you need to fucking leave now. Really, would you like any of these women spoke to like that?
No, but we can't, you can't control that. I mean, that's uncontrollable on our part. And I'm sorry, and I think anybody that speaks like that to any person is deplorable. Because I think it's a bad indication of their educational situation and a lot of other things. But that being said, we can't control that. And I agree with you on the noise, and we've addressed that. And the general contractor, these are subs that are causing you issues. And we don't want you to have anything, because this whole board is very proud of what you've done over there on that property behind what Chad's son just bought. And we want it to continue to improve. But that's one of the problems with building, is you're gonna get a little mud on the streets, and you're just gonna run across it.
I don't care about mud on the street. I don't care about that.
And
I'm not trying to be rude, and I
I
apologize.
appreciate that, but there's only so much we can control. I mean, I've got things that grind my gears, and I've been on the board 20 years that drive me absolutely mad. And I think for the amount of time and money that's been put into this, that it all been addressed and still not. So you and I are singing out the same hymn. But the problem that you got, you're in a little bitty spot, and there's limited amount of funds. And I wish there was a noise ordinance. You know, I'd like for Chad to get him better sleep. You know, he pays a lot of taxes, and you know, that's the other thing. We're raising, this one contractor's put $4 million into the town by himself. And what it's done to our tax base, it's made your property worth more, my property worth more. And I'm sorry it happened. And I wish that we had a way to resolve it for you. But other than having a little conversation with that contractor, at this particular moment, unless Bruce has something, I don't think there's anything we can do. Do you?
No. Do any of the other towns around here have anything?
None of the towns that I'm aware of, I know, they raise some complaints about builders, but those are such short-term deals. It's not like having a factory that's going to start every day, day after day after day, and there will. And there is some inconvenience, and just like Chad said, in my mind, to enforce a noise ordinance, you have to have the machine to gauge it, and at what level is. So at that point, then you have to, you know, what level is intolerable. Then you have to have a machine that will gauge what level that is, because just saying I don't like it, is, even though it may be annoying to any individual, it doesn't make it a violation until you can gauge it. Kind of like speeding. I don't like that guy, but you have to have a radar to gauge how fast a person's speeding. And those noise monitors are, I'm sure there's a better name for it than noise monitor, but I don't know what it is.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Plus, I did.
Thank you, Mr. Engineer.
So Bruce, if I may, is it possible to look at a time,
That's what I was wondering. If you like an ordinance.
like sun up, sun down
Well,
clock period?
and at some point, some contractors we've heard have said that right now, the outfits that you purchase from, you have to order it a week in advance. And if you don't take it when they're ready to get it, you're back another week or 2 weeks. And so the way the as I understand it, the way the world is running today is that,
It's on demand.
it's on demand, yes.
On demand.
And there's only so many laborers that can do that. There's only so many suppliers and the suppliers, I'm sure, try to push through as much as they can. And I think in another town, it was hotter than Billy Blue Blazes day, and they wanted to pour the concrete. And they got a complaint because they're pouring concrete early in the morning. And they said, they didn't want to have the crew out there 95, 98 degrees trying to pour concrete. And it's one of those things that I think it's it's inconvenient and it's maybe kind of grating at times, but construction is a finite period. It's not every day continuous. Suppose a siren comes through at 3 o'clock in the morning. I suppose.
Where do you start?
Yeah, where's somebody with a loud truck bumpers come through? Those things are annoying and upsetting, but how do you? There's some kind of balancing act.
Yes, is it something that as we continue to grow, because we're gonna have a lot of activity going on over the next 2-3 years.
Yes.
A lot of activity.
Yes.
Is it something that we can just, I did talk Saturday, I talked to one of the sheriff's out here, and just for blocking off roads and ambulance accessibility, emergency vehicle response and things like this. And his response was that basically within the incorporated community, they have jurisdiction, but they don't have jurisdiction over somebody blocking the road.
Well, we do on our
Is it something we could even put on like our building permits where we just at least request them?
Well, that's,
Maybe work like 6 to 10.
yeah.
we're gonna live on that, and I agree with Bruce, when you're on demand, everything else is on demand.
I mean, you can request it though. I mean.
Well, you can maybe request or suggest it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, just
Yes.
suggest
Yes.
that.
Put it on
Give
the
them
first
the rest
yeah,
out.
but I don't know how much you could.
Yeah, we couldn't really enforce it.
And so you enforce a construction worker. So if they put a factory, you say you can't work during those hours because you're the hum of whatever it is, the noise of the factory. So are you discriminating against construction workers as opposed to some other job? Don't know. No, those are questions that.
Is there no ordinance about if someone's having a wild and crazy party and making lots of noise at 2 o'clock in the morning?
I thought we had a nuisance.
That would be a nuisance ordinance, yes.
So this wouldn't fall under a nuisance?
Well, I was making a living a nuisance.
This, what I played for you guys, that was on my front porch by my front door.
Let's do
And
this.
I got a message from somebody that was walking their dog that morning going, did you get woke up? And I'm like, what do you think?
Let's do this. Let's monitor it. I think Randy, whenever you're doing the building permits, impress upon them that we
That's
prefer they
crazy.
start at 7 and be done by 7 at 9. And you keep an eye on Antoinette. If you have another issue, let us know. But at this particular moment, that's about all we can do. Because the time we get an ordinance structured, a lot of that's gonna be done over there. But we also want to take care of everybody in the community as well. But we're very limited on what we can do on that. Don't you agree?
I think because it's short-term duration now, and it is public. There's public good building houses in town. That's a public good, we think. And it's people earning a living, and we want people to work. But then you're weighing the inconvenience of a residence for a period of time, and it's a weighing of those things, and if it's, I think if it's a continued problem, it's easier to address, but if we don't know, I don't know, they don't tell you what the work schedule is, they don't tell anybody, the contractor does their own, the builder does their own schedule.
It is starting to affect my health.
Well, I think what we can do is we've already talked to the contractor, and he thinks, and he has agreed that they were in the wrong. He told it, that they're subs, as I said, and just monitor and let us know, because there's really nothing we can do. There's not a thing at this particular moment. And within a short period of time, I think he'll be done in that area, or close to where he's not affected.
I'm not trying to stop houses being built.
Oh, we understand that.
All I'm asking for is there has to be some moderation.
Well,
And
that's
that's
what
what he said, he's talked to the builder about, and hopefully we've addressed that.
Right.
well, we addressed that, and I think he will.
Hopefully we have. You know.
Because he thought it was wrong too, because he got after the subcontractors for doing it. And but a contractor has no jurisdiction over a sub either. And they can jump out willy-nilly, but I think he's got it under control. And all we ask is just let us know, because that's really, at this moment, that's about all we can do. And that's all there is to it.
I did want to address one other thing.
Well, okay.
No, I want to say thank you for noticing I'm trying to take care of an issue that for years was overgrown. All manner of vermin were procreating in that building. And then some. I am one person. I can only do so much. I have a family member that's in hospice. I have to take off out of town. I need a little latitude here if the grass gets 2 inches too tall.
We can live with it.
Yeah,
You've
Sandy and
done,
I talked about that,
you-
Chief's explaining.
you've
the
done
situation, so-
a yeoman's job over there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Antoinette. We appreciate it. Let us know if we have any more issues. Chad?
All right. Before we get to the big thing, I got two small things. One is our John Deere guy that I communicate with, they came and picked the lawnmower up today to go get a 300-hour service, which is an extensive service, and they'll have it for 1 to 2 days and bring it back. But it is at no charge to us, which is very good. He said, consider it great customer service.
Oh,
Oh, really?
nice.
So-
I appreciate it.
And then another small thing is, if nobody's been out there, but I did build a swing set out there at the park, at the ballpark. All total was about $400, so not much at all.
Maverick loves it. He said, Papa built this. I tried it out for him.
So now the big thing, the tractor. They said that $8,000 on the trade-in for our old one. After the municipal discount and everything, then right at just a little over 39,000.
Wow.
But there's more to it. And this is the part that Jennifer loves. They do what they call it, a municipality lease is what they call it. But it's basically like you're buying it from them. There is an interest rate, but you have the option to pay every quarter or you can pay yearly. For instance, the city of Linton just did 13 lawnmowers by doing this municipality lease. So they call it a lease, but actually after you pay, you own it.
So it's like
yours.
rent to own.
It's like rent to own.
So it just becomes a line item on the budget.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Here, I'll just give you the paper there. Yeah, right there.
How-
30.
Does it have the picture?
How much, I don't say what's the interest, what's
I don't know, I
think it's
would have
great.
to talk to Jeremy and ask him.
It's cab, heated air, radio, 4-wheel drive.
Okay, I got a question. So if it's rent to own, or even if we're kind of leasing it, then can we trade it in and get a newer? I mean,
After
is it like a,
That's why most people do.
well, you know, like
the
when you lease a
thing.
car and after 2
Yeah.
years, you can trade it in.
I guess you could, but I don't know. I mean, like, for instance, like our lawnmower, okay, it's the same lawnmower that all DNR uses, like all cities use. And mostly what they do is after about 10 years, then yes, they do trade them in for a newer model. So I would assume the tractor would be the same way.
How long before you would have this paid off? Do you know? What would you?
Well, that's up to whatever we agree on.
I think it's just, and I thought if you did it, I don't know, I'll have to check again with him.
Because
Like, as
you
far
need
as
to
the
know what we
interest
can
rates and-
afford.
It's.
Right, he
we
just
put
gave
in
us
there
the
a
little,
3-year, 4-year, or 5-year lease.
That's okay.
And like I said, you can do yearly payment, 1 yearly payment, or you can do monthly payments or quarterly payments. So,
What say you?
I think we should do it
Can you,
because we need to do it.
Can you?
what do you think?
Yes,
John?
yes, yes.
Oh, yeah. I'd say it'd be nice if it had we get probably a snow pusher would be nice.
the snow plow.
No, I think like an actual pusher. I don't know if you've seen those. That's something else to look at. I think it'd be easier on the streets.
Great.
So we can use the current blade that
We can, yeah, the same blade, but it does, that tractor, the bucket will go. It comes with a bucket pre-attached.
I mean, if you've got that tractor and we can push snow with it, and
He said that, because that was the main thing that we talked about was the snow, because it is smaller, but it's 4-wheel drive.
yeah,
He said you have no problem whatsoever.
Do we have forks?
I think we can use that forks for trees, but
Do we have forks?
We don't have,
but
we
we
should
should
talk
talk
about
about cheap too, though. They're cheap.
Yeah.
They're the cheapest.
Could you get a brush to sweep the streets? I mean,
Well, Mike would like it.
no, but they used to.
I know, but I'm
in
saying, I
strip
think
mines-
they do
in
have.
Strip
Yeah,
mines,
they
they,
do.
they strip mines, they do.
No, Mike
Well,
would
let's
like
get the
that.
tractor before we get off.
That's.
Everybody's excited.
I just want to know if it comes with anything.
I don't know if I'd be.
Okay, so,
You have to get the front off and hydraulics and the high flow hydraulics and all that stuff on. Which might
I think
be-
it sounds like a good deal if you think.
as long as
that
you,
Whether
I
it's
just
a
have to-
3, 4, or 5-year
That's
lease
a way better price than I thought you'd see.
would have to be, you would have to decide.
Well, I would have to budget whether, right, and how you pay it. I'd prefer to pay it yearly because why would you wanna break it up and, yeah.
so do I have a motion to go forward with the lease purchase? And let Jennifer decide how she wants the budget and how to pay.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor? Thanks, Chad. Thanks, Nathan.
How much was it?
This was from Mikey can read it.
39,000.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Well, here it is.
That's after they're gonna give us
It's
8,000 trade
It
in.
was 39,800.
Yeah, so it would be.
Do you want it or her?
Well, she wants
I just wanna,
that.
yeah, she needs, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll go through.
Okay, you have anything else?
No.
Okay, something I didn't put on the itinerary, and I apologize, is to Todd Damon. And Todd's the fire chief for East Township. And he's also, has volunteered to be our representative on FEMA matters. And so he asked for a couple of minutes, and so Todd, if you would please.
Well, I just kind of fell into this one anyway. Local EMA is, of course, involved in FEMA. So when you have a disaster, you have to provide certain things to be able to provide for disaster recovery. So evidently Cindy Sarver was on the EMA advisory board before, and then it's got changed around. So I saw a email a month or so ago for the preliminary meeting. I texted Jennifer to see if she had anybody going. She said, no. I said, I'll be there. So Jeremy was there as well, and I told him I'd represent the town to get it started. So one of the things they got to talking about is, I guess, in 90 or 2000, they did this every 5 years. So in 2000, or in 2020, you guys had identified some flooding issues that need to be addressed. Well, according to their reference, it's not been addressed. So they want to see anything that was in the past closed out before we go forward with any other ideas. There's also some survey issues before it's get on the website and you guys decide what your new issues are, whether it be flooding, tornado shelters, whatever you guys may have discussed. I have no idea what's went on between, prior to this. So what I would ask for is a committee meeting. You guys can put a little committee together. And I don't know what your advertising dates are on this committee versus public hearings, because there really wouldn't be any decisions, it's just reviewing what's been done, what they're looking for, going ahead. Today we had an online meeting and there were some things identified, on there as far as, flooding payments, whether you had your own flood insurance versus having to turn it over as a disaster situation, maybe cover people who didn't have flood insurance. That sort of thing was all discussed. So yes, it's a research type place. It's part of Purdue, when Purdue and IU. Yeah, they've got all kinds of people who do all this fantastic research. And we have to listen probably an hour of all that kind of thing before you get to the potatoes of it. So I think if we could get a committee meeting, you guys, whoever you want on your committee, where I can sit down and discuss it sometime prior to May 20th. That's the next day we want all this survey business done. The very first meeting we went to was in person. There's a howdy do meeting. There was very little town representative for the actual towns. The only places that they recognize is incorporated towns in the county. So even though the township has a lot going on here with Hatfield and that sort of thing, that's still considered part of the county as far as FEMA's concerned. So if you guys want to come up with a committee, and if you can meet without advertising as soon as you can or whatever, I'm really free. I'm pretty flexible whenever you want to meet. I come in and talk a little bit more about this, and you guys have a better idea what you need to come up.
How many should be on the committee, Todd?
There's 5 of you. I probably have 3.
Oh, then we have to advertise.
Yeah, because you have majority of what.
Or well, I don't know. I'm just saying, you and me can be.
I was gonna say if it can be,
Go to.
go to, and then
Some,
you
that's
just have
not
to
the
advertise.
I'm just here to.
If it's 3, you gotta advertise the meeting.
Because the only thing I'm gonna do is, my position is I'm gonna be responding to problems. Our crew will come out and try to mitigate this stuff, but your checkbook is gonna help decide what you wanna do to prevent these things.
One of the things they stressed is that if you're not on the plan,
Oh,
then
yeah.
it's as though it doesn't exist. So, like, okay, with the flooding, if you don't get it listed on there, then as far as FEMA's concerned, it's a non-issue.
I know, Cindy Sarger has always been.
But the 90% is this representation. You know, if you fail to show up, if you fail to do any kind of submissions, then don't come calling us because you didn't do anything to be proactive, so they're not gonna do anything on your behalf on the reactive side.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, right when I started, we had to sign a piece of paper. Cindy said here.
Cards, I think I still have a card, that if there's an emergency to get you across. I don't know, it had something to do with.
That doesn't play out.
But,
for
no, but what I'm saying is, we have done things
Yeah.
to be in compliance with FEMA. But I don't know, when you mentioned something about flooding.
Yeah, I know.
Never, that's first I heard of that.
This covers everything from any kind of,
No, but he said that we have an issue that we need to resolve about flooding.
I'll just show you. I'll give you this.
we have this.
Which is the first I heard of it.
Yeah, me too. I was like,
One of the things that's included in the 120 pages that they gave us.
So this is the projects that were put in 2020 to be mitigated. And this is each community.
Yeah, I know, that's why I'm trying to.
So you guys are on the second or third.
Randy's a lot. Rockport.
But there's only, you guys only had flood. It was the only thing that, if it's been mitigated, they don't.
Which one?
First we've heard of it.
Flooding concerns in Richland, specifically old pipes, no
Yeah.
kidding.
We did Harrison Street.
Shirting. and coming apart due to sand-based soils, drainage issues, and headwaters. Well, we did that whole thing over there.
Madison Street.
Yeah, yeah,
Is that what?
Yeah,
And
that
that has to be what they're talking about.
Yeah.
That's- And we addressed it.
yeah,
not been
we
reported.
fixed it. Well, we
So-
didn't know it was on there.
So Chad, so
No,
That's
I
the
didn't
thing.
know.
when you go to the meetings, you'd represent us, correct?
Correct.
Because what the concern, I think, the two for the best for you would be Chad and Nathan, but they can't, because of their work schedules, they can't make the meetings. And I think they're willing to be the committee, but they just wanted to make sure that they didn't have to go.
All I need is background information.
No.
Because I just like what you guys are talking about, you think you taking care, you got, that's the only one on there. So you got that.
Well,
I know
how do you
it's-
report it?
How
do you report that it's been done?
Richmond's included in a couple of those. That's the only one that's specific.
Cause I mean, I've not dealt with that the whole time I've been here. Never heard of it.
This is, I mean,
Sorry.
I'm,
Well, what we need to know is where did
I think
what
Cindy
needs to
must have
be-
took care of
what needs to be
everything.
Reported and to who?
Yeah,
when, did they help you pay for
No.
no,
it? Okay. Well,
Wish.
I don't know, that's
we didn't even know anything about it.
fine. Here, fix it. I'm done. Okay.
So it's the board, if the board's agreeable, let's nominate Chad and Nathan to represent the town and ask the committee for, time.
What this is about, for the long and the short of it, there is money available that people are having, it's a proactive situation. For people who are having trouble, if you've identified this as a problem that can create hardships or whatever, a disaster situation in your locale, then if you're willing to help with it, whatever, then they're gonna help you play. But if you just say, okay, we'll take care of it, we've identified it, then there's probably no reason to send it back to them because most times you get grant money,
Mhm.
you have to close that grant out.
Right.
And so evidently you guys pay for it on your own, and I don't know why it's still on their paper.
Yeah.
But anything that you got grant money for and is not finished out, that for sure has to be figured out some way to report that as complete. Now,
We've never.
that being said, the very beginning, and I don't know anything about technology, so there you go. So what they did, this is the very first time for this. And they have these QR codes. They want to have community involvement, they want committee involvement, and they want official involvement. So there's 3 different surveys that can be taken on there, and how you guys want to distribute that is up to you. We've had it on the EMA website since the very beginning. We put it on our fire department website, Facebook page. We put it on our fire department Facebook page, and people couldn't get the QR code off of that. But we did say in our Facebook page, we said go to Spencer County EMA for more information. But that's been a month ago or better.
Put it on the website.
So, but one of the things that we see a lot of is people get concerns when there's storms. Last week, whenever we had that storm, I think the internet put some concerns on there where shelters are. And then a brand new firefighter of ours that had absolutely no business chiming in said the fire department is usually open during storms. Yeah, we're open because we're going on runs or we're there, but our houses, neither one of them are tornado rated. And if we ask people to come in there and hang out and they get killed because the building blew down while we were gone, then we had invited them into a hazardous situation. That's why we don't want to open that can of worms at all.
So would FEMA help with a situation like that, trying to find and establish a storm shelter?
Well, that's part of this survey is what does your community want? And so,
What do they have? What do they want?
yes.
Yeah.
So one of the things that when we had our first meeting, I talked to Stephanie, that the township is trying to look at is getting a couple of storm sirens because there are none in Luce Township. And I'd like to have one in Richland and one in Hatfield. Because if we had, they cover roughly 5 miles in every direction, supposedly, in good weather. If we put one in those 2 locations, that would cover 80% of the population in the township.
We looked at them when we first incorporated.
Yeah.
20 plus. They are very expensive and there weren't any grants back then.
Right, but if you can get it onto this list, then it opens up that, okay, when FEMA does have money available for grants, we can say, hey, here's a project that we're wanting to do.
we have it on our capital improvement plan that we're required by the state to have. Not that we're necessarily gonna have funding in the 2 or 3 years, because at 20 or 30 grand a piece, another 10 for each pole, plus the software for it, plus,
It was the liability 20+ years ago.
yeah.
It's
Now
like you
it's,
put out that kind of money and then they're inoperable.
yeah, well, that's one problem that I know in Evansville a few years ago, they had almost a quarter of theirs weren't working,
Yeah.
and they had to spend a lot of money. That's the reason I'm only one too. But, yeah, I mean,
So then, do we do nomination for Bruce for the committee, or can we just appoint?
I think it is important.
So is if Chad and.
At this point, it's just fact finding, you know, it's
Yeah.
fact finding.
But if you two would serve, that'd be great. Is that okay?
If there's some way, like I said, this all needs to be done
You just schedule
before
it
May
now.
the 20th.
That's soon.
You've got 14 days
well,
before.
that's when when.
You need to go
they have
ahead and
the
make a
reports
date.
in So they can
That's right.
create to have a meeting.
The
That's the
committee
next
meeting,
step.
Yeah,
you three.
You need to decide.
I'm available next Thursday.
You guys just call me.
I'm serious,
Oh.
I'm being serious.
About that?
Not tomorrow, next week. So the community day, 4 o'clock or later, we open up the community room. We have all the ice and all that.
I'm pretty free.
Because it's just-
What's that date?
Really?
It's just a building.
14.
14.
I have fun.
Now, one of the things, like I said, on this pamphlet I'm holding out to you guys, the second QR code, every one of you guys need to take that survey, because that tells a little bit more about what this program's about, and do that. You can do the first and second QR codes as an individual and as a group, and that'll tell you a little bit more about what we're after, what kind of suggestions you make to carry on with this.
Know if I can be here.
So 4:30 next
4:30 next Thursday.
Here?
Here. It was easy enough.
That'll work.
No,
And then you guys will report back to us, so we know what's going on.
That was expensive.
Possible, that was
That's
expensive.
expensive.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
That's it, but it's all new to us.
It's whatever you guys, after looking at this survey, when you take this, take your phone, click on that QR code, take that survey, the first and second lines of it, find the view, and that'll help decide what direction you want to go.
Thank you. All right. Moving on. The engineering has been done for the water, the storm sewer. for the new building. All that's been received back from the engineer. And they, the contractor's spent about $100,000. And of course, it's gonna be reimbursed partly by the grant, but they wanted to make sure that the stormwater is all gonna be drained off properly. In the meantime, Ron Smith and his investors approached me, and I put them on to Bruce. But what they said was that since they're spending $2.5 million on a new medical building, they were wondering if there's a way they could acquire the 3 old buildings over here. And what they propose is if the town, we own those, and we're paying a sewer bill on them, I believe. Jennifer, is that right? No, we pay,
Sorry,
we pay a sewer bill on those old buildings, don't we?
Yeah, one over here.
One over here. So we're paying that, and because the town owns them, we don't collect any tax money. He asked if he would donate, or we donate those buildings to him. When they tear down the old Jack Vieira house, they would go ahead and tear down all those buildings, level it out, and turn it in as be a green space for a period of time. Now, I know that one of the questions that everyone had was, what will they put back in place? And that was a question I went back to Bruce, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but the board controls the aesthetics of what goes back in. It can't be a pole barn, it can't be a, you know,
And it makes sense that I have a $2.5 million building, you put a piece of junk next to it.
and,
Preserve your own.
and I've,
Your own asset.
and I've got to, since we're all friends and I gotta admit my sins, I've had some reservations about it. I've tried to get some grants and I couldn't come up with anything. My grandfather built all that. So in my mind, I had a little bit of it's useless. He's dead and those buildings are too. But they're just from a sentimentality standpoint. And then like Jim West, who's gone now, but Jim had a barber shop over there and there was a doctor's office there. And Kenny Young had a hardware store and Over Blair had a grocery store. So there's some sentimentality. But at the same time, and I'm gonna pass it off to Chad, because I know Chad's really been looking it over. And so I'd rather prefer his recommendation.
Well, a lot of us don't remember, but 3 years ago, you guys asked me to get quotes on having it torn down then, and I did. And, but to refer back, you know, we kept saying, well, there's grants out there, there's grants. It's too far gone. It really is. And what I've brought up before is, if anybody hadn't been watching the news, but a year ago, the town of Winslow just went through the same thing and had a building collapse that they own out onto the state highway. And they're still in litigation over all that. And then now Grandview's going through it, which it's a privately owned building, but they're going through pretty much the same issue.
Hamilton is too.
Yes. So
Or-
in my mind, it needs to go away. And I got sentiments too, when I remember sitting on feed bags, drinking a bottle of Coke, sitting there, you know, but some things just are past their prime, past their time.
And you know, the other thing of it, you know, we never dreamed we'd get that grant, that medical building. And when you got that beautiful building sitting next to those dilapidated buildings, you know, it just looks bad. And I think as long as we can put a corral around, you know, how long they can sit, you know, they've got to be staked, they got to get mowed. They can't be, they've got to stay in green space. And I think that one of the things I've thought is that number one is that if they go down, once the medical building's up, that we ought to push to have them start another building immediately to fill that spot up, to go that way. And then I think that the board should reserve the right to approve the architectural,
The aesthetics.
the architectural design of it. And I think they're all in agreement of that. They've already had the environmental studies done on it. They paid $3,500 out of pocket. And I don't think they found anything. I think there was just some minor, they don't have the paper report back yet, but they've spent about 3 days and they've got the demo permits done. I don't know if they've got anything from you, but there's a state demo, but they've got everything done.
Are they gonna salvage?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd like to,
I think they're
whatever kind of history you can
they
get
want to
from it.
salvage the Lake State Bank sign and they want to try to keep the bricks and build a tombstone in the park.
Tombstone.
Well, that's what you.
A monument?
Yes.
Okay, well, that don't call it.
But, well, and,
Here lies the,
so they talked about doing that. I thought maybe if we could salvage some bricks and give something to Betty West, and maybe to Kenny Young and some of the others that occupied it. Because the bank, Jeff Smith's dad and mom worked there forever and a day. Maybe if we could do a little something there. And as long as we're not callous about it, but you can't, but like Chad said, that the train's gone now. And the only thing that can be done, and it would cost us as a town too much to tear it down from the demo cost and all. And the county, Jim Seiler and Dale Kinney have already been down and they want to take the solid off of it. The pieces they're gonna put it in the river or the longer gullies and concrete and the brick, but they want that and they're ready to go.
Now, can we, and this may be more Bruce question, but can we put it in there that they can't tear it down and then sell it for profit without offering it back to the town first?
Yeah, that's,
First round.
they have to say they have to develop it or if they want to sell it to third party. Yeah, I think.
Yeah. That, and I had that, and then also the original bank safe is still in there. We want that.
Is it?
Yep.
We don't know who's gonna crack it, but yeah.
Right.
Oh,
What
Is
would
it?
you do with it?
Shane Young actually is the one who opened it years ago when he was a kid.
really?
That's right.
I'm impressed.
He did say on that tractor to pick up the stake.
Good, so.
Yeah,
Bruce,
that'd be
can you
nice.
put that in agreement?
Now, now the vault,
There's your snowshoes.
It's not actually a vault, it's just a safe.
It's just a big safe.
It's a big safe.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Put it in the corner over here.
So when we start our museum,
I had visions of the vault.
It's a big safe.
Okay.
Yeah.
it is neat to have, I mean,
Yeah. It's a
Because-
purpose.
you know, our kids and grandkids ain't gonna know.
I like the idea of trying to salvage some of the bricks. They can
Yeah.
say,
You don't
The
have to
sign.
salvage, you don't have to salvage the liar's bench out of the harbor.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything that's salvageable. There's, I think prior to 2020, you know, I think Tara had talked about the grants possibilities. But then
Well,
COVID hit, the grants dried up, and then like you said.
Well, actually, we had started that, like, right when I came on, because Nathan held the downtown revitalization, and then they took that away.
Everybody just wants to know.
What's going
Thank Robert, special meeting now.
But can we vote on it now or should we hold and make it a, because I think they're planning on tearing, I think their goal is to get all this month prior to the town board meeting.
Well, yeah, but you'd have to draw up something first.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We have a special meeting.
Thank you.
So, yeah, we can. You could. Draw up something, pass around with the board members. And if, I think somebody makes a motion that, I will draw up an agreement and without, it'll be approved unless I get, a denial or objection would be a proper, better term
So
from
Be
board
done
members.
tonight.
Then at that point, then they don't have to sit down and have a meeting. But what I draw up and pass around, if there's no objection, that you can put that in the form of a motion.
I do like Chad's idea about the idea of we control it from the sales standpoint. I think that's a good idea.
So basically, it's right of first refusal, what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't worry about a pole barn as much as I do just a concrete parking lot.
I worry more about just sitting there year after year after year. you know.
I mean, if they would like to put a nice flower garden in until they decide to do something
Yeah,
about
see
it,
something.
make it nice.
aesthetics, make it,
Yeah,
Clean up and downside.
It'll just look good, with those buildings gone, get new sidewalks, new building,
yeah.
and then have that sitting there that's deteriorating.
Would be good if they could get it torn down before the state comes through.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what they want to do. They want to tear it down right away.
yeah, they're planning on the next 2 weeks or something.
Oh, okay.
So once they do this.
Because it's gonna be next year before they do the sidewalks, I think is what Luke said.
But actually, the sidewalk, installation easier, because they're only putting on worry about driving, work around the building.
Right, yeah.
That's a floor.
So do they need to have?
Okay, I'd like to make a
Also
motion.
prior to all this, because there's an alley there and some trees.
All we can give them is what we have. Whether it's a survey or not, at some point it'll be surveyed, yeah. But I don't know that survey is necessary to make a transfer. We transfer what we got.
Mhm.
That's typical in real estate transfers, and the survey may subsequently say that it's not exactly where we thought it was. But I think we're fine.
In a transfer.
We'll transfer what we have. After that, it's their, if the things don't fit exactly for the survey, they gotta make the adjustments. Other than us go through and say, okay, now we gotta adjust this, adjust that, and wait for a survey.
I'm trying.
Probably gonna get a survey before they want to tear it down, to be honest with you.
I'd like to make a motion that we have Bruce move forward in making an agreement to transfer those buildings over to,
What
Is it-
name?
Probably Ron Smith.
okay, I was like going to transfer it over to,
Because I don't know, he's got the name.
I don't know what he's using on the development.
Who was that? Last time we used to do an appraisal and there's,
Well, if you offer it, if you offer it for sale, you have to, but then you'd have to offset it with what's the cost of removal and all that good stuff.
If you
And I
transfer
don't-
over
Because
some-
it's an issue most times, and I don't know what's a piece of property for.
Once the buildings goes, Chad took us through the
Yeah.
building to see it is no way.
no, it's
I mean, structurally, it's not the same.
But most times in urban renewal, the cost of cleaning it up is worth more than what the lot is. And unless you have somebody really itching
Yeah.
to do something at that particular spot. That's one of the reasons that there's a lot of towns that don't go in and tear down old buildings, because the cost of tearing it down is more expensive.
well, that's what we were as a town here 15 years ago.
Yes.
As a town, we're going around trying to tear down. The cost of tearing it down.
And we bought some lots in the past that we donated just to get housed on. As
Yeah.
far as economic, you can do it with economic development, from an economic development standpoint, to encourage economic development, you can do that without doing that.
Okay, my motion is still on the table. If anyone would like to say.
Do we need to do a caveat? So then could the developer go ahead and proceed under this motion?
Well, I think, yes, but after,
I put Bruce is gonna draw up agreement on the property transfer to developer / Ron Smith. Upon board review of agreement.
Can you put in the minutes that Chad's caveat that we retain the first right?
yes, yeah, that's gonna be in the agreement that
I know, but I wanted in the minutes that I wanted.
Oh, sure,
the
that's-
agreements.
Okay,
Okay, so do I have a second?
I can't second, don't look at me.
Well,
I'll second.
all those in favor? It's unanimous. Okay, thanks, Bruce. Chad, thanks for all your, thank you.
I wanted to say that, I think the flags look really good.
Yeah.
And are we getting the flower pots? I mean, that's,
Uh,
here we're talking about big
we-
things.
we talked about it, and we're gonna wait until next year when we have the new sidewalks, and then do
That sounds good. The new pots.
and then.
yeah,
Randy, you're up.
kind of looking into something, or maybe
Right,
do.
you have a quick report, couple things. You do have the house over at, on Maple Street that was purchased. I did talk to the gentleman. They're gonna clean it up, fix it up, and hopefully flip it. So that's the 4035 Maple. We still have issues over there on the Craig trailer. 4224.
Remind me, I want to talk to you about something.
Okay.
It just popped in my head.
The one at 4310, the White House down the street down here. I think Mike's been mowing it. I did notify them again about, what they're planning on doing, haven't heard anything back. I do know that there is an offer on the table or a pricing on the table for that house. It's in your notes here. Everything else is pretty much a repeat of where we're at with everything. Mortgage and leisure. I did have an opportunity, like I said, to talk to the sheriff a little bit about situations here in town. They are using the office over here, is what he expressed. They have put their call out here more than they have in the past. Sometimes they go there and just sit there and do the paperwork in their car. That's what I call it. And I kind of started it, he said, he actually sent me a text afterwards apologizing. I caught him off guard. And then I talked to Tyler Damming about the county surveyor about our ditch back here. And I was told a little bit different version than what Chad had told me. He said that the county had cleaned part of that out. And I understand it was done by a farmer. So he was gonna look at it and I heard it go back.
Yeah.
Now Darren was excavation business too.
Pardon?
You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
it, yeah.
Well, a farmer did clean it, but we're not sure if that farmer was contracted to clean the ditch.
He thought the county had done the portion that's been cleaned.
I watched Darren do it. It's in the backyard.
So I don't know how.
Darren also raised his face.
Yeah.
It could have been there.
Heard in conversation that he was going to come out, take a look at it. I emailed him again, haven't heard anything more back. I called him, haven't heard anything back.
Right.
So I'll continue to follow up.
Or November,
I was gonna say Mike's cleaning it out by the ball.
Yeah.
getting the trees out.
And then, if this goes down in the property, to tearing the building down, a recommendation I would have would be to contact possibly the community. You can close off part of that street, I'm sure, for several hours. So that, you know, they were planning on, my understanding, talking to Ron, was that they're planning on imploding the building backwards, away from the state highway. So they're gonna push it back, not towards.
And you think it'll go onto that side street?
A lot of buildings. It's
Yeah.
pretty, they might be over there, like I said, imploded, they're pushing
The
in.
house is right there, but
That was and that's what I say, if we let the, you know, some area of people know and close that street off, because they're gonna need that street for trucks and hauling and things like this here, not so, you know, Anthony brought up the point about, you know, we have very narrow streets, we have still people coming and going all the time, and if we let them know, at least they're aware of it. It's a surprise business, because one evening when she called me, came down, I saw me coming through, and I drive a little small car, all my cars are small, and I couldn't get through the street. And I couldn't find out whose truck it was. It was a truck and a big logo type trailer. And we could hear it, but we never could find it. And then we was driving around, we happened and we stumbled upon it.
Can we have Ron or whoever, I'm sure he's not going to be demolishing these, but whoever does it, talk to neighbors, maybe even talk with the fire department about closing off a street or.
Well, we
can
can close
even
off
just putting out a sign a few days ahead that says streets been, you know, like you do, whenever they get ready to close the Blue Bridge.
because
Yeah,
we
They
have
put a sign
to,
out saying it's going to be closed.
because we just have,
These hours for somebody, for whatever.
I know,
reason.
but
No, but
we can
maybe
make
they-
signs.
whatever company he has that's going to tear it down may have some sort of signs that they can, or at least let who lives behind there.
Yes, oh, that's a good point, because actually,
Sandy,
the community itself has a lot going on. So when they start building out here, and, you know, just like now up here, where Ron's building the house up here, he's doing a lot of work. You know, they have two trailers sitting over on Pennybags property. Well, it's not his property. Where's he gonna go? I suggest that maybe they go over to the park right now, because it's, you know, it's someplace in parks or trailers, I'm sure wouldn't be that much in the way at this point in time, not right this minute. You know, for a week or so, that they have to walk from down there up to here, or take a tractor and go from down here, or a truck or something to get back, and that seemed to be the biggest obstacle. They're actually having parked on other people's property, and that's the problem I have. Yeah. Because,
That's,
I've had this happen to my other properties.
that's a private concern.
Pardon?
It's a private concern. That's a trespass if it is between two landowners.
Yeah.
That's not.
Yes, and that's something that the sheriff's
That's-
department's not gonna help us with, everybody.
And that's not city, that's not a public, that's not a public problem. That's a private problem.
But that's what brings this circle back into.
Well, when it gets on public property, we got an interest. When it stays on private property, we don't have an
But just like going back to your situation, being awoken at 4:30 in the morning by a loud noise, I just need to be considerate of
That
that
went on for
neighbor.
a half hour.
Well, yeah, well, this building is probably gonna go on for more than a half hour. I just thought it
It's the common
is
courtesy.
going on. Somebody's,
Somebody did.
yeah, I think
I think
it's
it's
you.
you.
One of the concerns I have about tearing this building down, excuse me, is if they're gonna put up any kind of fencing to keep people out, because that is almost a 3-story building. And if they don't get it down to a manageable level while they're there working, and they decide to take off for the weekend or something like that, we don't need a situation where part of the building blows out now. That is considered a type 3 building, which is 3/4 brick with, they were made to burn back in the old days. And we trained for all this stuff through building construction. But the 3/4 brick buildings back in the old days had the big steel beams that went through them. And if you look at some of them, they'll have a star on the outside. The one Danny owns over there's got a star on the outside. That means that building has grown at some point. So when a fire happens in the bottom, the I-beams start stretching, start pushing the walls out, is what happens. So one of the things we gotta be careful about, and we've been involved in 3 of those since I've been in the fire department, that had a fire in them, and they caused a major problem. But like I said, your winning deal is probably 3/4 brick like we think it is, but just try to make sure there's some kind of caveat that they're gonna leave any high collapse situations that it's fenced off around that. And if they for sure have the collapse situation, push back off the highway before they go away.
So that's something that should
Can
be
we- can we
approached
work-
to the contractor before they start, and have a roundhouse discussion with us, see if they're planning on any of this.
I don't think it would hurt.
It wouldn't hurt, but I'm 100% positive that the person that'll tear it down will be done in less than a day.
And that'd be good.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna take
Yeah,
much.
once you get it on the inside, there's.
And I'm
there's no
sure-
target.
If they have a demolition permit from the state, it's got all kinds of.
Just stay that way.
Mhm.
Randy, you have anything?
Yeah.
It's got no insurance like there was.
Maybe I got all that. stuff.
Okay, guys, just a few things. I think last month I had reported that Ron Smith was, donating a sidewalk, for our pickleball court there at the park. And, I met with his contractor, a couple weeks ago, and that should be completed within a couple weeks. So that's good.
Not
Very,
bad,
I'm
not
very
bad.
thankful.
He was gonna pour it tomorrow, but he was informed that it's a different kind of concrete, so it might be another day.
Oh,
But
okay, so
but
you've got
it's
some
ready to go.
updates. Okay, yeah. So, well, and I think it's probably based on weather too, you know, that kind of thing. So, we do have, additional funding on our fence for the pickleball court. Friends of Richland has received $5,728 in funds. I got another $1,000, today from a, resident. And then, we did a grant proposal to the Spencer County Parks Board, and we were awarded $4,000 in funding for that.
Well, we've already got that too.
We received that,
Yeah,
yeah.
the money, yeah, it's already in there, so.
Very thankful for the, award, gracious award from the, Spencer County Parks Board. So that, if we do the work day, I think we should have, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Paperwork's still good. It's gonna
Alcoa is doing, Nathan's organizing a work day with Alcoa, which we will be awarded $3,000 on that award, or that work day for a grant donation to be directed to whatever
Friends
organization.
Original.
Yeah, Friends of
Friends
Original. Thank you to Chad for the swing set at the ballpark. I do have a picture of it if anybody wants to see.
I got some too.
You do have some?
Yeah, I'm trying to update some stuff on the website, pictures and stuff, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Good job.
Lastly, I did have somebody that, approached the Parks Board with a concern about, apparently there's some people using metal detectors at the park and digging, at the park. The concern is that there's a capsule buried in the park, that they might be digging up the time capsule.
Ooh.
So, that's the concern. So we want to make the public aware that there's a time capsule and they don't want to disturb the time capsule, being dug up from using the metal detectors. So,
There's always the same guy we see. He's done it for years since we've been here.
I don't
And
know who it is.
I don't either.
He does it, I mean, what he digs up.
He puts
right
back down and, yeah,
It's not like.
I don't-
It's a hole.
yeah, it's just like, I've never seen it. Yeah, he is. And same guy's done it for probably as long as we lived here.
Okay.
I don't know what he
Well-
keeps finding, but.
I mean, I guess.
Well, then we have a new green space.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll have a new place.
I just think that they want to just, maybe make people aware that, there is things that are buried in there, not to disturb them. So I don't know if there's maybe a sign that we could post or,
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I can put it on the website and we can get a sign made.
okay.
Just,
Pour a little pad of concrete or something.
Do we know where this time capsule is?
I didn't know. I didn't know about it.
I was gonna say, maybe the guys in metal.
yeah, can you please let us know?
The same fellow that has the, what do you call the thing? Metal detector.
That's a matter. That older gentleman you guys
There's
have.
been an end for at least 5 years.
Oh,
That it's always been over in the park, and I always studied that to change after.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
He does.
something just been that up here.
He's just barely done from the top. I mean, it's pricey how busy.
Going down, dig around, but now what they're after, I don't know.
And
It's hard to protect a time capsule if we don't even know.
I don't think we know what.
Because it's been going on for years.
It also depends on how strong his metal detector is and how deep. the time
Top.
capsule.
You know?
Well, whoever told you there's a time capsule needs to tell you where it's at.
Usually they were put in the corner of a building.
The only time
In the
capsule
building.
I know of, maybe somebody,
I thought maybe it's
Kenny
in the,
somebody knows more, but when they tore down the front building, there was a time capsule in the front of the corner of the,
Yeah, they were usually in the corner of the building.
that's why it's
In the
on
back
one of
building, I'm
the
not sure.
thing.
but the building is where the shelter is where the time capsule was initially. So I'm sure it's already been gone,
Yeah.
been gone through.
Probably under the shelter.
And then when Malone's tore down that back building, whatever could go with, was, they tore it down piece by piece too, so. The building will be back closer where the concrete pavement dumpsters used to be.
I've just never heard of a time capsule that was buried deep in.
Wonder if it's in the flower stand. How long's that been there? Where the sign's at?
No, they built that, they built that.
Okay.
You gotta use Dan's tombstone.
Well, I didn't know how long, like when they tore down the thing and put it in.
You got that.
We could take the brick from this building and build your
Tombstone.
or something. But we could build another flower bed and we could put a time capsule in.
Pretty honest, I mean,
And then you'd have something to find with it.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
See if I
How was trash day?
Oh,
Great.
I thought it was great.
It was good.
I had some.
I think he only had one triaxle load and his big semi. I mean, so that's, they were full, but I mean, that compared to years ago, that's not much.
It
at
was
all.
kind of continuous. I mean,
Well, I seen some trailers in town that was full of junk. I thought maybe it'd be gone, but it's not.
It's just always the same people that bring this thing.
I'm gonna address it with Randy. Or, what's his name? Yeah, Randy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you! Don't worry.
I think Mom
Crazy.
just a little FYI, we had 35 vehicles come through Saturday morning for town cleanup. And then we had the additional of whatever Mike and Terry picked up from different people that didn't have a way to bring their stuff in. And we had a pretty productive morning. There was a few people that could have cooperated more and got rid of some stuff, but I guess that's just the way life goes. That's that.
Did people have enough warning? I mean, have you heard anything? Because we always seem to hear about,
No
we
complaints. It was
advertised
too,
it too early, too late.
I know, we did like the beginning of the week, that's gonna happen. Well, I don't give enough time to get our junk together. So you do it a month. Well, that's too early. I can't remember. So we did 2 weeks and that's the way it's gonna be.
When the post office stopped us from using the mailboxes, that hurt a lot. Because everybody had a mailbox, but now everybody doesn't use a mailbox here in town. They use the post office boxes. And then some of them, of course, it was
It was
a
hung up at
rainy day
post
or
office.
two after, just enough rain to get those things wet.
Mhm.
And, you can only do so much.
Right.
Does anybody have anything else? Not
Make a motion to go to the house.
second,
Second.
all those in favor?
No, whatever it is, it's gone.
No,